Hey, what's up, Starcraft 2 fans? It is Friday, November 19th, 2010, and today we are going to watch 3 games. It's going to be a best-of-3 series between mouzHasu and lalush. Now, this is from the Viking Cup that took place last night, Thursday, and this is Viking Cup number 20. This is round 7. So like I said, it's a best-of-3, and we'll just have to see what happens between these two players, as there is actually a good bit at stake on the line. Now, the Viking Cup is actually, like I said, it's number 20, so there's been quite a few of them since Starcraft 2 was released, and I think even they had some during the beta as well. They don't really claim to be a top-tier tournament. Rather, they are kind of an entry tournament to the bigger leagues and whatnot, and they know that, so they really gear the prizes towards, as such. And so the prize for this is 50 euros, and that's awesome. But there's also, what comes with it for first place is a ticket to the DreamHack Winter 2010, as well as a ticket to be wildcard ticket to be in their StarCraft 2 tournament. So it's kind of a stepping stone to get into the higher leagues. So whoever takes first place will have a chance to really show their stuff off at a kind of larger venue. So definitely awesome prize there. I like how they put a lot of thought into that. So looking over here, the Protoss player does have his probe hanging out at the natural expansion, patrolling here. We can expect to see him try to deny this expansion. We do have a drone heading out right now towards us, where he will be sorely disappointed that he cannot become a giant bubble. But he will maybe be able to, depending on the outcome of this fight. Right now, it's hard to say. I'm thinking the probe drops a pylon right at the expansion area before running off, delaying this expansion for even longer. Definitely good stuff there, as a second drone is pulled off the mineral line. Now notice he's not pulling off too many drones, he's pulling off just enough to keep this drone away and start raining down the shields on this pylon, so that way he will be able to get some Zerglings and finish this off in just a minute. Looking over here, his spawning pool just popped, and the Queen is on the way, as well as a couple Zerglings, so this is plenty to deal with it, so not that big of a deal, no reason to panic or anything. But the probe is still hanging out here. The nice thing about the pylon is that it frees up the probe to continue scouting, rather than having to sit here and block the expansion and da-da-da-da-da for however long that whole dance takes place. So the probe is trying to get some more camera flip, trying to get some more damage on the drone. Not really going to be able to, though, because there are the 2 drones. They will eventually be able to take down the probe before it goes before that first drone dies. Now there goes the Zerglings taking out the pylon. Expansion delayed, but not completely negated. Now looking over here in the Protoss base, there is an Overlord hanging out at the top of the ramp. Protoss decided to build his buildings at the top of the ramp. Now, this is actually good for a couple of reasons. Number one, it obviously provides the early benefit of having a choke point, which is pretty important when you're playing versus a Zerg. But more importantly, and you'll see this with the position of this pylon right here, it allows the Protoss player to place buildings right here, and also warp in units anywhere down here. And you see, it's a choke point. And this pylon being here is in a very good position, because the Zerg can't knock it out without getting vision of it or using air or what have you. So it's not susceptible to any sort of early attack. But we'll see right here, a second gateway is going down. The sentry popped just in time to, if needed, drop a force field, which, obviously he doesn't need to because he's driving it off here. And these Zerglings are running for their life. Maybe get a kill. No, we're not going to see a Zergling die here on this map, Desert Oasis, today, as both players continue to build up. Now, the Protoss has claimed both of his geysers a little early. He claimed the second one just a couple minutes ago, as he does have Warp Gate technology just about complete, and another sentry is on the way. Warp Gate will be done probably just around the same time that brain fart for a second there. Sentry pops out. Sentry, I've played Starcraft before. As these drones are transferring towards the natural, we can see that the natural is obviously completed a minute ago. So more drones are morphing in as well. Looking here, the Zerg is pretty much just macroing up. His second geyser was just claimed, and he's just about done with his lair. Now, because of the fact that he waited a little bit longer to get the second geyser, I'm guessing we're not going to see any sort of aerial play right off the bat. Maybe some upgraded roaches, maybe some hydras, maybe some infestors. We'll have to see, because, like I said, the gas is a little bit late to be doing this sort of mutalisks or aerial attack. But for now, we'll take a look at the Protoss base once more, where he does have a forge, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. He has the 4 sentries. Very, very easy to block this off with force fields. He has the Zealot hanging out here as well, and a forge going down, so we might see some cannons. But either way, this expansion will be very well protected for the immediate future, as the Zerg really just won't have enough to break through it if he decides to. But like I said, he probably won't see that. We are seeing 2 Stargates here, so might see some Phoenix harassment or maybe even some Void Rays. I don't know. We'll just have to see as the Zerg continues to macro up. Like I said, he's just focusing on economy. He knows he's not really in a position to push the Protoss at this point in time, because of the build that he used. So he's just continuing to build up, thinking he's going to be relatively unscathed. He has claimed both of the Xel'Naga watchtowers, and he does have an Overseer getting ready to come into the Protoss base. Might see a Contaminate, or may try to move a Changeling in with the forces down here, although there's only 2 Zealots down there, so it'd be pretty easy to spot. No, he's contaminating the Stargate, which is going to negate the Chrono Boost that was on it and delay the Phoenix. So only 1 Phoenix will be coming in at the present time. You can see this is just about worn off, so that'll be gone in just a few minutes. But for now, that Overseer is heading home proud of his accomplishment. Good for you, Overseer. Way to be, as the Zerg player is actually going for Hydralisks right now. He is getting the range upgrade. It's about 40% complete, so we can expect to see that actually go into effect in about a minute or two, which will be probably about the time that we'll really see some serious Phoenix harassment. Right now, we're only seeing 1 Phoenix, but because of the fact that he did get 2 Stargates relatively early, I expect him to really try to make those buildings pay for themselves. And so we can expect to see a couple more at least here as they do head up to the Xel'Naga watchtower. That poor Zergling is hanging on for dear life, and unfortunately hanging on was just not enough, as he is indeed fried by the other Phoenix, as they number in 3 now and continue to move around the map. Infestation Pit going down for the Zerg player, as well as an Evolution Chamber. This is likely to provide upgrades as well as the Spore Crawlers that'll be needed to fend off any sort of continued Phoenix harassment, which so far he is actually not doing a terrible job of it. You can see he's trying to pick off some Overlords right here. Oh, that one got about halfway done. 4th one was there for a second, but not very long, as these Hydras were able to dispatch that with relative ease. They do move into the mineral line. Phoenix is trying to maybe pick off a drone or 2, but the Hydras were responding very quickly, getting in position to defend that off. We do have Armor 1 on the way for the Zerg player. Looking over here, got another Phoenix on the way. And you can see right now his position is pretty well solidified, still looking pretty good. I don't think the Zerg will be able to break that in, like I said, the immediate future. But, I mean, the Zerg is pretty much sitting unchecked. You can see he is having a little bit of Phoenix harassment. But, I mean, what is that compared to what the Zerg can pop up in just a couple minutes? I mean, all the Overlords are hanging out, either participating in the Creep Highway project or hanging out over top of a hatchery. And right here, we are seeing a Roach Warren going down. Now, the Infestors will be really good, not only for infested Terrans to give additional DPS, but also the fungal growths will really help put a stop to this this Phoenix harassment, should he decide to do that. There goes another poor Zergling right there, and here's a drone who just barely escaped the vision of the Phoenixes, who are now heading over there. It looks like the Zerg player is going to try to claim the high yield. Second drone here, maybe headed down to the southern expansion. I don't know, but once again, the Phoenixes are in place, trying to do some harassment. There goes one of the Hydras right now, as they now lift up the Queen. So this is definitely going to hurt the Zerg production, as the Queen is dead. There is no anti-air within reach, as Zerg player is just saying, you know what, forget it, I'll be able to make enough units to fend it off, but in the meantime, I am going to counterattack and try to go on the offensive here, get some map control. And really the important thing now is if the Zerg can continuously pressure the Protoss, this one expansion won't matter, because the Zerg can just expand over and take over the rest of the map while the Protoss is fortified here. We'll have to see what happens as the Infestor goes down and throws down a fungal growth on the Zealots, negating them completely. Force fields continuing to go up, keeping the Zerg player away, denying further progression into the base. But for now, we'll have to see what happens, as a Colossus has taken to the field, and another one is on the way. Force fields continue to go down, so this Colossus is in a fantastic position to get free kills from the top of the ledge with the force fields, keeping the Zerg at bay. But, you know, the Zerg player, realizing he's not in the best position, he saw the lasers from the Colossus, decided to pull back and kind of bide his time just a little bit. More force fields are going down as the Zerg continues to reinforce, while the Protoss has his Phoenixes flying around even more, trying to delay this expansion. He knows that he's not in a fantastic position to come out here and kill this base outright, so he's using his Phoenixes to take out the drones one by one and try to pull the Zerg back away from the front of his base and keep the pressure off, so that way he can continue to build up his own forces until he is ready to deal with this. Right now, the Zerg is actually sitting in a very good position. He has these two investors with infestors, which are coming over to try to deal with this. There's the fungal growth right there, preventing these Phoenixes from running anymore. I think he might lose all three of them. I don't know. Yes, he does. So Hydras definitely came into play very well, though, as his one armor is completed. So this will definitely help him a lot. Creep timber going down, probably see him spread the creep out towards this portion of the map. Maybe see some overlords come over and make an additional creep highway, as it is just such a long travel distance on this map, man. I mean, it's huge. So looking over here, we do have the Protoss moving out towards the middle of the map, taking out an overlord with the Stalkers. Proxy pylon going down just behind the vision blocking, I don't know what you call that, terrain feature, so to speak there, but for now, we can see the Protoss has a second Colossus here and is warping in units at the high yield. You can see he's claimed that. About 50% complete, almost there, as he's throwing down a couple cannons. Not sure how that one's going to work out. But in the meantime, looking over here, the Zerg is actually spread out fairly well. He could probably spread out a little bit more if he decides to wait for the Protoss to move in here. Of course, the Protoss is able to see what is going on. He has claimed the Xel'Naga Watchtower, so he knows exactly what's going on over here. He probably knows that he might be walking into a trap. But for now, this is definitely going to be lalush is ace in the hole right here. These Corruptors, which are popping out just in time, it looks like, as the Protoss is now moving in with 3 Colossi, several sentries here, several Zealots, and a good number of Stalkers as well, with a, like I said, a well-placed proxy pylon that'll let the Protoss reinforce. But look at this wall, man. This is really good. I mean, the Zerg is going to be able to get a nice, solid concave on the Protoss, who is moving in one bunch. A couple of fungal growths combined with a good surround with this positioning will really hurt the Protoss player. There's a fungal growth right there. Look at that. They are kept in position so nice and bunched up. So the Zerg is getting a really good concave on that. Colossi are trying to do some damage, but the Corruptors are just having a field day with these units. There goes the last of the Colossus right there, as the Zerg presses back the Protoss player, forcing him to retreat to his proxy pylon. He doesn't have any units warping in just yet. You can see he's sitting on a good chunk of money right now. Look at that, about 600, 700 a second ago, as he's making some cannons, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. The fight is getting ready to come to the doorstep of this high-yield expansion, as you can see lalush down here continuing to take advantage of this opportunity, expanding just to the southern portion, or southeastern portion, of the Protoss space. This will give him a great forwarded position should he decide to do a flank attack from the southern part. But right now, the Protoss is pushing the Zerg back just a little bit. Not really so much pushing as just kind of encouraging the Zerg to run, and the Zerg just happens to be going along with it, as right now he does have the superior numbers. But the cannons are warping in just about complete, and there is an Immortal on the field now. You can see there's several more sentries warping in. Going to try to make some force fields, maybe try to negate these Zerglings attacking photon cannons, but it's too late. There goes both of the cannons right there, keeping some of the Hydras out of position while forcing the Roaches to engage the Stalkers here and this Immortal. You can see the Corruptors are laying tons of corruption down on the units here. Definitely knocked it on all of the Immortals as well as some of the Stalkers, and of course taking this 20% extra damage, which you can see right here. The units will be taking a ton more damage. The Immortals are dropping very quickly, as well as a lot of the Stalkers. You can see the unit health right here. This one Immortal is taking out pretty low, almost lost all of its shields. That Immortal definitely lost all of its shields, as he does indeed die an explosive mechanical death, while the Hydras continue to take out these units here. You can see they're starting to pick off some of the probes, but the Protoss has reinforced just a little bit. With the Stalkers, not going to be quite enough to deal with it, though, as the Corruptors are still spewing their goop everywhere. Look at that, man. I mean, he's really doing a great job of driving the Protoss back. He's using these, he's actually sending his units down here to keep the Protoss on the defensive, while he uses the Zerglings to knock off all of these probes, keeping the fight away from the high yield. That's very smart play right there, as he just knocks out all of the probes. There they go, and now the Zerglings are having a field day with the rest of the buildings, while the push down here finally ended, but the Protoss realized, hey, you know what, it's too late. There's no way he's going to be able to save that with his continuous Zerg reinforcements. Now looking at this, he definitely has he definitely has a lot of drones down here on this expansion. You can see he's sitting at 11 right here, a ton right here at the high yield, where he does have a sport crawler morphing, or a spine crawler on the way. And here comes the red train right here down from the base, all the way across the middle of the map, coming from 2 different directions as he is reinforcing his army. Speaking of army, let's look at that. 182 to 78. Definitely Hasu is not in a good position right now, as the Zerg player is now morphing in Brood Lords. So he has got a hive, he's getting Brood Lords, and it's now 72 to 180, 68 to 180. Looking once more at the production tab, you can see those Brood Lords are on the way, a couple Hydras, and taking an Extractor, but at this point, this is seriously going to be some trouble for the Protoss player, as he just does not have the units he needs to stop this attack. These Brood Lords are just about complete. They'll be done in just a matter of minutes. There's 2 of them right there, knocking off these Stalkers. Stalkers blinking down, trying to take some of these shots, but at this point, I don't think it's going to be enough, as he's microing away. But there's the GG from Hasu, giving lalush game number 1 in this best of 3 series. Alright, well, that's victory for lalush. Let's go into game number 2, and let's see if he's able to take a second victory and knock the series in the bud, or if it's going to go to game 3 with a victory from Hasu. Let's go find out.